Good evening, everyone. Today is Monday, August 19th, 7 o'clock. We're at the Southwick Conservation Commission meeting, hybrid at the Southwick Town Hall. And we're gonna go around the table and introduce ourselves.
Dennis Clark.
Andy Reardon.
Norm Cheever.
Chris Pratt.
Jerry Patria.
All right. Welcome everyone else. As we can start off with public comment. If anybody has public comment, can raise your hand.
Cliff Clark,
Hey, Cliff.
he's requesting to record.
Yes, you may. All right, anybody else? Okay,
No hand.
all right, I guess we've got a little bit of time. We can look over our minutes from last meeting of August 5th.
Permission from the state to remove those trees in the park. You did, good.
2 days after our meeting, they sent us a letter.
I'll take a motion when anybody has one, or anybody has any comments, questions, or.
Page 3, 113, 13 Berkshire Ave. Coordinator Fuller stated survey on the property has begun and is waiting. The accountant, are we waiting on?
Are we for what?
And it is waiting.
Is. And then on
Mm.
page 4, the LPP amendments. I thought, we were gonna not allow lakefront owners to rent space in there now.
You are correct. We're gonna add not.
And where is that?
It's on page 4. the
LPP announcement amendments,
Missed that
middle
You
line.
A very important
There you go.
detail.
Yes, kind of the opposite. Any other corrections or amendments?
Looks okay to me. Good catch, Andy.
Nice,
Thank you.
that was a big one. I'll take a motion on the minutes.
I'll move to the minutes as amended.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Dennis, I.
Andy, I.
Norm, I.
Chris, I.
Jerry, I.
All right.
Chris, a resident asked me to check on there was some tree cutting at 19 Foster. And as to whether or not it was in or out of,
Anybody else aware of that?
detected it.
19 Foster.
Yeah, that's where the, mobile home was, that you put a house.
It was recently sold.
Okay,
Was one tree-
actually, I saw that today. I was wondering about that.
one
There was a
tree,
pile,
right?
I think, in a resource area of debris. And I did see, I thought, a newly cut fresh tree on the other side of the backyard.
Yeah, there's like a hemlock in the back, right?
Yeah.
And a couple of,
I think I saw some dead brown leaves,
That's the one we just issued the certificate of compliance for.
probably.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
I guess they took that to the park, huh?
Well, he sold the property. So it wasn't no longer, so we did the certificate of compliance. for it.
New owner came in a couple weeks ago and he knows to submit an RDA, so I don't know why those trees are down.
You can go give that a look and
Mm-hmm.
see what's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
so hold on then.
they're on the list.
Okay.
Is there any more talk of our new meeting room? Is that gonna happen?
I haven't heard anymore, but I should be know.
Yeah, I don't know. Looks like the select board is working on the opposite schedule as us, so they come. So for example, they'll come next week.
Oh.
Yeah,
And
they'll be
so-
here the
but-
26th.
26th, 4th.
Yeah, I don't know if that's set in stone, but I'm sure they'll let me know if.
Yeah.
We have to move.
Did we find out if the appointments happened yet?
For the task force,
No, for conservation for all
For
the,
I
everybody?
think it's on the 26th, so next Monday.
let's go, because I want to do that. Told you I wanted to start the
This
open
one
space
doesn't
thing.
have a dock, but
Yeah.
it
It'd be
does have a
very,
boat.
very valuable to have
doesn't
that
have a
conversation with
docking
them.
Mhm.
That means it doesn't have a dock. And a boat.
Plus you have to be
It
there
has a
anyway, because you're being
document.
reappointed, so.
Yes, but
Oh, A doesn't have any,
Doesn't docks or boats.
right,
Um,
it's confusing and people.
A minute and a half.
Yeah,
Next meeting is September 16th. Because the first Monday of September is a holiday, so we won't be meeting for about a month.
mm-hmm.
So we're doing public hearing next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to wait a minute.
Okay,
If this continues, remind me to put it for 7:05. Cause that's. what-
Well, we can put it for 7:05 and then it's anytime after 7:05. It doesn't, you know,
Yeah, I know, it's
We can just do
I
that.
copied it from last meeting.
right?
Cause this was published at 7:10, so it had to be at 7:10.
Okay.
Does that
We can
mean
change it
all
afterwards.
residents of the town
So,
Mhm.
allow access or just residents of like neighborhood?
well,
what's your thing? It's the board.
the assessor is confused about those pieces of property too. Where when I first went through
every
this.
other week scheduled until
Property
October,
is
and
no
then
longer on record.
weekly. Oh, they're still in their summer
Since then.
schedule.
Uh-huh.
To the
So-
field assessor's office.
So it looks like end of October, we might be
Gave me one of the deeds.
moved about.
Officially,
Oh, then they go back
Okay.
weekly.
Mm.
Thanks, Dan.
only a right of way for people in the area.
So-
All right, we can move on. We have an NOI. It's continuation of 55 Foster Road, proposed construction of a single family home within the riverfront buffer and bordering the riverfront area and border of and buffer of bordering vegetative. Okay,
Good evening, everybody. I'm Steve Riberty, Senior Wetland Scientist at Bog Hunter Ecological. Again, we're back in front of you after the continuance at the last hearing. At the last meeting, I think it was left at, we needed to formally respond to DEP's comments, which I wrote up some responses and submitted to Anatoly to submit to you guys, which I believe he did. And there was also, I believe, some revisions to the WPA Form 3, which he also had taken care of and submitted to you guys. I don't believe there were any plan changes. Anatoly, please correct me if there were minor tweaks to the plan. If they were, I haven't seen them. But if they are, we can talk about them. So that's where we're at. And I have, I can go over the responses to DEP's comments and, any further questions the commission has, and then we'll see where we're at.
okay. So let's go over the comments.
Yeah,
Uh,
so, I can share the screen or I can just, read them. I just pulled up my letter, that's all.
Then we could do this share thing.
Yeah, sure, let me just try it, make
She's
sure I don't.
giving she's giving you access shortly.
Should have access now.
Okay, there we go. See if it works. Let's see if this works. Let me see. I think that you should be seeing it.
Yes,
All right, yeah, so DP's comment number one, was the alternative assessment was not adequate. And I'll also state that these DP comments were received before, I think we formally responded to anything and the plan was updated, based on the date on the DP comments of July 9th. The last hearing was, early August, so I don't think what Mark Stinson had seen wasn't, I think the current version of the plan. So the comment, things had changed before, this comment letter was written. So the alternative assessment was inadequate. That was based on the original alternatives assessment. I updated the alternatives assessment, in the notice of intent submittal. I wrote the narrative was updated after receipt of the comment. The alternative analysis details that the proposed alteration of riverfront area is the minimum amount needed to construct the home and the septic system. The home is very reduced, as you can kind of see on the plan. It's the 25 by 25, aerial square footage of the home, and just the minimum amount of grading around the house. The house is set because we had the denial of the variance for the frontage setback. The house is, set back at the minimum distance required. We tried to get a waiver, obviously, to get it closer to the road, and that was unsuccessful. And we also situated the house in the location on the site that had the least amount of riverfront impact on that, southern property line, to try to get it as far away from riverfront as possible and minimize to the maximum extent feasible. Other than that, there's really you can't put the house anywhere else on the lot without having more riverfront impact. So that's the minimum area that we're trying to claim, and the best location on site that has the minimal amount of impact. DP's comment number 2 was alternative on parcel due to the zoning and wetlands should be shown on the plans. Those are shown on the plans. The zoning setback as well as 100 and 200 foot buffers are depicted on the current plan set. I believe when DEP issued the comments, that was on a previous plan set that didn't have those elements on it. Comment number 3, why are we proposing riverfront area enhancements? That was based on a comment from you guys, I think, at the last version of the notice of intent that was submitted. It's just a small give back to improve the riverfront area slightly, in and around the area where the house is going to be constructed, essentially to give more of a buffer zone, a vegetated buffer in the understory, just to provide more shading and more wildlife habitat features, than what's in the riverfront area now, and maybe a limited amount of invasive species removal by hand. But there's not much invasives in there. But if there are some, we can identify them and have them, hand pulled to get them out of there. Comment number 4 was about the waiver of the frontage setback. And again, this was the comment from DEP was made, I think, before the official denial of that request. So we now have, the denial from planning or zoning, I forgot which one it was, that won't let us, have that reduced frontage setback. So that's been, resubmitted, with that official denial. And the commission had a comment on the incorrect checkboxes on Form 3, and I, gave Anatoly some instructions on how to clean up the Form 3, and there was a couple other minor Scrivener's errors on the Form 3 as well, with some boxes not checked that should have been, and maybe I think there was a double box checked on another one of the items. So I believe he took care of that on the resubmittal of the Form 3. So it should be, it should not be a buffer zone only project because we do have riverfront effects. And that was it. And at the last meeting, I believe you guys had a comment about potentially adding additional notice stir markers. There are already some shown out there, but if we want to stipulate that in a condition, Anatoly is fine with adding additional notice stir markers around the limits of work. We can set them at 50-foot intervals or whatever we think is appropriate, and I think write that into a condition. But though that's the response to comments, I don't believe the plan has changed. I can pull up the old plan if we want to see it. I don't have anything newer than what I showed, at the last hearing.
Steve, does the drawing reflect the monuments that we talked about that you just mentioned?
It has the original monuments on it. It doesn't have additional monuments on it. I didn't know if that could be something that could just be conditioned to have additional monuments, like I said, at certain intervals. So if we show 9, we could say that there's going to be 18 or something of that nature.
I think we were talking like 50-foot intervals or something.
Yeah, I think that's what we said last time. I think that's fine. We could have them at every inflection point and then, at 50-foot intervals outside of that.
So everything on the drawing that's there now, nothing was impacted by reviewing the DEP comments?
No, nothing's changed. Essentially, DEP commented on an earlier version of the plan, so a lot of things that are on this plan address the DEP comments.
So I do have a question about that in particular, Steve. So these are the comments from the old plan. Do we have comments from the new plan? Was it submitted to DEP? And do we have the new comments?
I don't know if Anatoly, if they were submitted to DEP or not, or if we have comments from Mark Stinson or not. I don't have an answer to that. Anatoly, I don't know if you have any insight into that.
Yeah, I'm confused myself. I don't understand that these aren't the comments pertaining to the plans that we have currently.
These were the comments to the original notice of intent. This is how I'm best reconstructing it. The notice of intent was submitted. Mark Stinson commented on it. And I think the plans were changed, a couple iterations with some back and forth between.
Well, I believe the new plans have to be resubmitted, Steve.
Yes,
It's a new project. We restarted the project. It wasn't a continuation originally, so there should have been a new NOI filed.
I believe there was, but I'm not the one that submitted it, so I don't want to say that is what happened.
yes, I'm here. Yes, I submit the new plan, but after we received the comments from DEP, we updated the plan.
So the comments.
Is this a new file number? I mean, I think that would answer the question there. So this I have on my screen now. These are the comments from Mark Stinson on July 9th.
Yes,
this was after
those
comments are dated. What's the date on those comments?
July 9th.
And what's the date on the plan that was the newest plan that was submitted?
July 1st.
July 1.
Doesn't tell when it was submitted.
No.
The DEP comments say 292-0421, and that's the newly submitted NOI.
But did it have the date of these plans on his comments? Because it appears as though the comments were made before this plan that we're looking at right now was submitted.
No, I think there were some additions to the plans, like Mark show the buffer zones and all those things, and those are taken care of and added to the plans. Nothing's changed limit of work wise. So Mark's comments were to this plan set showing these impacts, and to address these comments, Anatoly had his engineer add, some of these elements onto the plans, like the buffer zone and the no disturb, the setback limits. That's my best recollection of reconstructing some of this stuff.
I'm totally
Is that correct, Anatoly?
Yes, that's what I said last time. Like we addressed the comments on the plan, but not on like written forms, which are still done already for this meeting.
Okay. So you received these comments from DEP, you addressed them on the plans, but we didn't provide written commentary, which I just did for you, last week before.
I think we just want to be able to look at the plan in the future and make sure that all the latest changes are in there and included, and there's no, misunderstanding. That's all.
I believe it is. I from looking at it now, there's been no changes to the plan since I've re-engaged on this project for this new notice of intent filing. This is the only set of plans I've seen.
So we're really not sure exactly then what was done, because you're just addressing it as it's been taken care of. Because it was an old plan, but now we have a new plan, and we're not really sure if they have been taken care of.
No, I think this plan was submitted to DEP as far as I can tell, and this is what Mark Stinson commented on.
So the July
Well,
1st is the latest, this drawing?
So he made comment before there were other things done to the plan, so how do we know
On there?
if he is
July.
commenting before the plan was submitted? How do you know what's on the new plan? How do you know what to comment about?
He commented that on. Yeah, that's all I can answer.
Yes, Steve, I think you can go through each comment and show it on the plan.
Well, it said that alternative assessment is not adequate. How did you address that?
That's in my narrative, so that's.
It said it was updated.
This was updated. I was assuming Mark, and this is me maybe making assumptions that I shouldn't make, that Mark might have been looking at an older version of the plan. Or, I'm sorry, not the plan, the notice of intent submittal, because there was I believe Anatoly probably just resubmitted the alternatives assessment from the first NOI. So this is the revised.
Seems like there's a communication issue between your client and yourself. It doesn't seem clear that you have a clear line of communications that you can relay to us, either one of you.
Well, I guess what are you looking for? Mark Stinson's sign off on this response? Because sometimes he doesn't do that. He'll, and I don't know.
We're looking for his comments on the new plan. I guess.
Right now, I would be looking for, I would say, get a third party consultant on this to take a look at it, because I'm confused. I can't make a decision or a judgment on it the way it stands.
I received Mark Stinson's DEP comments July 9th.
Yeah, that's this one here.
Yeah.
Does it seem reasonable if a plan is drawn on the first, that it got there, got back by the 9th? Isn't that finish drawing it on the first? And that, but it seems very small.
I've never seen it happen that quick before, no.
Right, if I'm drawing this on the first and then Mark responded on the 9th, seems awful quick.
What do you mean?
This was drawn on the first
Uh-huh.
and it was responded to on the 9th. It just seems like a very short period of time. I don't know. that
Sometimes
government moves
Mark
like that.
can respond relatively quickly.
I've seen Mark
Uh,
respond within a couple days. So I
Yeah.
don't know the actual submittal. I don't have the transmittal of when things were submitted to DEP.
But that should be somewhere in the files, right?
In Mark's files, because he receives his, I think Anatoly sent
Oh,
it via mail.
When you send something off, you usually have proof of when you send it. I mean, that's part of the deal.
Yeah, I don't know if Anatoly did a certified letter
It
with the.
Has to be
submittal.
certified.
So he probably has that information when Mark received it. But Steve, was anything changed on the paper plan at all? I know the
No,
narrative,
that's
the
not that
narrative.
I know of. Everything, the plan for this current NOI submittal, the only plans I saw are the plans that are here now. I wasn't involved when he originally resubmitted this to DEP on
Mhm.
July, whatever, 1st or 9th or whatever, just before Mark commented. So I didn't see that earlier iteration of the plan. All I see is the plan as it stands now. And I feel like it, as I responded in my comments, I feel like it addressed Mark's comments.
I know the plans have changed. The original house was
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
was on a slab. This one has a cellar. The house was moved back, so we know
Yep.
that the plan has changed.
Right,
It has, yeah.
The house that was on the slab and that was closer to the road was a different notice of
It's a
intent.
different file number.
So they
This
submitted
is
a
the new
new,
file number.
Okay,
this is a new new file number, new notice of intent. I don't think that actual plan,
But-
the paper plan right there changed, the narrative changed. Because we
the
told
house
them,
moved.
No, this is a whole different plan, Norm. This
the house
This
moved.
plan now is different
Okay,
because we started over from scratch, so we would have, it wouldn't be, so it wouldn't be confusing.
Mhm.
Mark has seen this plan. I believe his comments are on this plan. There may have been some changes to some line work where the buffer zones are shown. But I don't think there's been any changes to the layout.
Comment number 2, alternatives on subject parcel due to zoning and wetlands should be shown on plans. And they're shown on this plan, but they weren't shown on the plan that he looked at, correct?
I believe so, and sometimes Mark misses things too. It could have been on there, he just didn't notice them as well, so.
I don't know about that,
So
skeptical.
this is the same plan which I submit to the Mark, only what was missing the engineer stamp.
Mm,
So he reviewed a plan that didn't have an engineer's stamp on it,
Yeah, yes.
so it's not this plan. Because this one has an engineer's stamp on it, the one that DEP reviewed did not have an engineer's stamp, so. That answers the question that it's not the same plan.
I did, then ask Anatoly to make sure that the plan was stamped, and then he did stamp the plan.
Yeah,
So
actually,
it's
that's,
the same plan. And I CC'd Mark Stinson on that, so I think I actually got that before he did. I'm not quite sure on the time frame, but
I'm surprised he didn't make a comment about that. Stamp plan.
I think he did say nice catch.
Mark doesn't always respond to like resubmittals of things if there's minor tweaks on things, just from my experience doing this for throughout the valley.
Expects the commission to take care of that. Don't get me wrong, it looks much better than the first submittal. The first NOI was nowhere near as detailed as this one. This one is much better. I am just not confident. I don't feel comfortable with the information as presented to make a decision. I would like to get another professional to take a look and give me his opinion or her opinion. That's reasonable.
I'll leave it up to you guys, or would you be more comfortable if Mark just confirmed that, you know, this is the plan and these comments addresses concerns? I don't know. I don't know which ones.
I think we could save some time if we just skipped and got some advice, some opinion from. Doesn't have to be Levesque, it would be Katie or anybody that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Want to do that
Yeah,
then?
make a motion
I'd make a motion.
for continuing. Until we find out about the. Make a whole motion, Dennis.
So you're asking for like a peer review of this?
He's gonna make the whole whole
And
motion.
confirm with Mark
He's gonna read it.
Stinson that this is
Is
the
he gonna
plan.
read?
and review.
MGL C44, section 53G. To get sufficient expertise available to address specific issues. That's what I'm making a motion for.
Yep, okay. All second. All in favor?
Dennis, I.
Randy, I.
Norm, I.
Chris, I.
Jerry,
Okay. So. We will do a continuation, I suppose, until. But trying for the 26th, because hopefully by then,
There's no meeting on the 26th.
I mean,
The
the
16th of
16th of
September.
September.
And you guys were continuing it for the peer review? Was that what?
third party peer review, is that what we're
Correct.
talking about?
Yeah.
Do we have to ask for continuation?
Well,
Okay.
if they want one.
And, you know,
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
it's
saying.
something Anatoly needs to, you have to, authorize that, Anatoly.
should there be a
yes.
new drawing generated with a new date after the peer review? Reflecting all the potential changes?
Well, we'll double check with Mark to make sure he's seen this plan, the updated plan.
Yeah, right.
As well in the meantime. Because that was the biggest thing that was confusing to me.
Yeah, having another drawing is gonna help in a couple of years
Mhm.
when you try to decipher it. So.
It's always difficult when it doesn't come in clean the first time.
Mhm.
And we know that, down the line, you're not gonna be building this and, somebody else will be taking care of it, so we wanna make sure that they have the clear marching orders when we get out of here.
Right. Okay. So you're in favor of continuance? Anatoly?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. I'll take a motion on the continuance.
Dennis, I,
Andy, I.
Nor am I.
Chris, I.
Jerry,
All right. I made and seconded the motion, by the way.
You did?
was that gonna, Mehmet?
Sure, why not?
Norm seconded it.
Norm seconded, okay. We all voted yay anyway.
I didn't even notice.
Said I'll take a motion, we all just voted.
Oh, that's how you did it. Oh.
Yeah.
sneaky.
That's never happened before. Okay, guys,
Thanks, guys.
thank you for coming.
All right, thanks.
All right,
I've just seen it before where the client and the person they hire don't actually be on the same page and it comes back to bite us at the end, so
right,
we wanna make sure that their agreement on what's going on and there's
that's clear,
no ambiguity.
right. It's good, Dennis, thank you. Okay. New business, we got a request for certificate of compliance, 3 Loomis Street, which I think,
They did ask for a continuance. I went and I did a site visit on Friday and, you have in your folders, a packet of the before and after photos as well as the plan and the as-built. It does not look like the restoration has been completed. The only thing that I saw was that some material had been removed and plantings put in. The, according to the detail, there was supposed to be 12 inches of wetland soils, put into this not replication, restoration area, as well as wetland seed mix.
you know,
And and according to the detail, excuse me, the details, it's monitoring for 2 seasons. And this has not yet been 1 season.
And a report from Lubec.
And a report, which we've never gotten a
We'll need
report saying that,
report in 2 seasons before. they
Yeah.
vote on it.
right,
we were supposed to get a report when it's
looks
been completed,
pretty
but
sandy soil in this picture.
it's very sandy and rocky. It's not
Right.
wetland soils
No.
at all. And the,
Seems like it's
Yeah.
different than the pre-construction. Pre-construction's got a lot of stone in it.
yeah, they removed the stone. So they redid their driveway and they weren't aware that there was a wetland there and they pushed back a lot of the material into the wetland. So the plan was to remove the material, import wetland soils material, put it to grade. Do those 3 plantings. 2 of the plantings are actually in the wetlands, the red maple and one of the winter greens, I think, is the name of the bush, the shrub.
Okay,
But yeah,
so we'll see them in a while.
This tree is.
yeah,
All
I
right,
can get my car. Oh, really?
next up, we have discussion of possible dock or boat violations, Connecticut violations.
that's the norm.
Yes.
Norm?
As I stated at the last meeting, one of the side learning events of taking the photos of every dock and boat in Connecticut realizing we had done Massachusetts 2 years ago. Is that what you have to do is tie every dock to a landowner. So I found several cases where it appears that's not the case. Okay. And I've given case study 1, case study 2, and case study 3. We have people in the audience from case study 3, which is on, that discussion's on page 3. And it involves the right of way onto private property. And back when the Sunset Drive was put in, all of the properties on the opposite side of the waterfront properties were granted an easement, a right of way to a 25-foot strip of land to the lake at the end of the last house, which is 100 Sunset Drive. I have seen the deeds, and they're all a little bit different. One deed says it's got pedestrian across and use of the beach. Another one says the easement of the pedestrian traffic to south pond of Congamon Lake. Another one says access to use the beach. And another one says avoid away for the purpose of egress and ingress over Sunset Drive. And probably the strongest one is, and I'll read this, and that is number 3 under case study. Here's the definition of riparian rights, because this deed says it has riparian rights, okay? The doctrine of riparian rights claims that the legal water rights belong to the landowner if the water flows within the land border of the landowner and the landowner uses the water for reasonable and beneficial use. So that's probably the strongest case. Okay. Now, if you go to page 20, you see the map. And you can actually see the 2 docks on the Suffield map. Okay. And lot 54B is the owner, and that's Mr. Butler. Mr. Butler does not have a residence on 54B. Okay. So, the next page is the picture I took. You can see that one dock is in, 2 boats are on it, and the other dock is on shore. I think since the other dock is partially in the water. Okay. Then the next page is the letter that I wrote to DEP, asking all scenarios for the case 1, case 2, and case 3 to say, would you allow a chapter 91 dock license? She has not responded. Now, the LPP program was built off of the chapter 91 program. Okay. So anything that applies to chapter 91 probably applies to LPP. Okay. So if she gets back and says we would never issue a dock, then that's a pretty strong statement.
And if there are
Okay.
other things around the lake where homeowners do not own the property, they have associations around the lake, things like that.
Right.
Which maybe they could have an association where they would
Share a dock.
and share,
Right.
Sure, well, I mean, they have more than one dock, a lot of associations, depending on how much frontage you have. You know,
Okay.
so.
Is it 20,
Okay.
no, 25 feet?
No, it's more like 50. The 25 is just the access to the beach.
Oh,
It opens up to more like 50 once you get to the water.
oh,
Comments need to be recognized.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Let me finish and then we'll let you speak, okay?
Yeah, identify yourself and your address before you speak.
It's just the rules of the, it's not,
For the record.
no penalties.
Okay, then if you go to page 22, and I highlighted, this is part of the LPP contract, 4.10. No structure may interfere with public rights associated with a common public or common landing. public easement, or other historical, legal form of public access that may exist on an adjacent to the project site. And I raised this as a question because with the two docks, I didn't know it opens up to 50, okay? The two docks and two boats was over 25 feet and could block potentially block use of the other owners that have it on their deed. Just for discussion.
Mhm.
Okay, then if you go to the last page, you would ask the LMC give their opinion, okay?
Mhm.
And if you go to number 3, apply, 3 and 4 apply to this one, okay? Non-property owners with docks and boats on private land without owner's consent. No known examples, no dock, no boats allowed is what their recommendation. Then 4, non-property owners with docks and boats on private land with owner's consent, example, lot 54B. Mr. Butler has no problem at all with docks and boats on the land. However, he does not want to fill out the LPP form. He preferred that these people fill out the LPP form.
That's fine.
That's fine with me.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the LMC is saying docks and boats allowed only if the property owner submits the LPP form. Because that's the recommendation on this specific case
Yeah, but
from LMC.
right, we could, in the same spirit as having an association, could be an association fills out a form for those.
The association is responsible to submit the LPP form for all its members.
Correct.
Okay, but associations have to be a nonprofit organized business.
Okay.
Can a homeowner do it?
The homeowner can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got total rights to that.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds like there's a fairly clear path here,
Yeah, sure.
right, to resolve this.
Yeah.
The approval and.
So can I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
45 Sunset. So I've spoken with most of the homeowners across the street from the lake. Does it make sense to establish like a Sunset Drive Association and name a president who becomes the recipient of this application every year? Then
That would solve a lot of problems.
Absolutely.
That would be-
On that side.
Yeah.
Our recommendation, and if that's,
I'm Ray Baldy, I live at 35 Sunset Drive. And we've spoken to, I think, everybody but one of the 7 homeowners. And they're all in agreement that they will do that, and I nominated Eric Puppy to be the president. And,
congratulations, Eric.
Let the paperwork begin.
Okay.
So we.
It's not that difficult.
We have started that process, and I think that is what we would like to do.
Yeah, that makes the most sense to me.
So neighbors that get along.
Yeah,
I love
it's a
that.
rare thing. It's a good thing, so,
On water, that's rare.
yeah.
If there's an unregistered boat at the association dock, who gets the fine, Eric?
Yes, no.
You wanna ask that question?
Well, you will have-
Accept the presidency.
Say that again.
If there's an unregistered.
He won't let it
unregistered
happen.
There won't be
boat
any
at
other
the dock,
registered boat.
Yeah.
Who gets the fine?
There will be registered docks and registered boats.
Yeah, he won't let that happen.
And one thing I failed to mention is I believe there's been a dock and boats on there since the 80s.
That is
It's been there a long time.
If I can comment on that, I am the original homeowner. I am the one that installed the dock that's furthest to the east. I was friends, neighbors with the individual who installed the other dock. That was 1987.
Mhm.
Both docks have been used. I have pictures here, September 92. If I may.
Yeah, we could.
Sure, that'd be,
Okay.
Yeah.
Like pictures.
yeah,
That's,
Wow.
I'm just gonna refer to it as Eric and John's dock for now. Those ones with the 2 boats.
okay,
This other one, and it's not my dock, these are association docks. I've been here for, again, 37 years. Everybody on the street used this dock at
Okay.
one time or another.
Is that your
So-
trampoline too out there?
No,
Pardon me?
No,
Is that your trampoline out there?
No, that's our neighbors.
You got clear cut it all, is it not like that now, is it?
no,
No, I can attest to that. I live across the lake from them and I see that, so.
And the dates on the
Beautiful
backside.
picture,
Yeah.
Good aerial photography there.
Mhm.
It is nice.
That's before drones, right?
The original homeowners, that we have them on our wall, that's where that's been for the past.
Yeah, sure. They must have taken it from a plane or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back then, yeah,
Back
airplanes.
then it was.
Now it's drones.
Very
Seaplane
nice,
maybe.
yeah,
Thank you for bringing it.
yeah, you can take it back, we don't need to keep it.
I just wanted to show you.
That goes
too.
back on the wall, right?
Yeah, back on the wall, but that's the.
Okay.
Okay,
Air pick.
92,
Nice.
yeah, air pick,
Oh, airpick. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
92. Good kid.
So I think all the other associations are five oh ones.
503Cs,
503 CC.
502Cs.
501c3.
oh
501c3.
I knew it was one of those combinations. Thank you, Sabrina.
Register in town with that.
You register that, with what is that, with the IRS? Or the state?
Well, to prove it's a nonprofit,
I think it's both,
502C.
and I don't know the process. for
Yeah,
it.
I'm not
Yeah.
really sure, you might.
It should be online somewhere,
Start with that, though, right, establish that association.
Yeah, I mean-
Establish how to establish an
Yeah.
association.
right,
What's unique about that is you're in Connecticut, but Massachusetts owns the water. So you may have to go to your town and then come here. You know,
yeah, I think that's kind of up to us too, if we need to require that or not, if they're an association, registered an association.
Yeah,
I think we don't need to have them,
that's all.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing would be where their dock is over the
Yeah.
water.
I'm just thinking it's reciprocal as far as the
Mm.
permit goes. You know,
Yeah.
it's because we are already
I'm
doing that.
not
with
exactly
Connecticut.
sure of all the details, but
Okay,
maybe.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, we already have that agreement with Suffield, so I don't think we need to do a new one.
There's a
Diane
comment,
Gales.
Okay.
yeah, comment from Diane Gale. I think she's
Oh,
familiar
there
with
we go.
this process. She said they start with registering their organization with Connecticut, then file a form 1023 EZ with the IRS.
Diane should know. Thank you, Diane.
That sounds easy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, that's one of our select board members.
Thank
So
you.
she,
She has experience.
yeah, she has experience in that field.
Sure, it's Eric, ERIC. Dot GIUPPONI @gmail.com. 45 cents.
I'll send you an LPP application and an application for each owner of the association to give you an idea of what you're looking for.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you. In the end, is this application filled out for the entire property though? Like if we have 2 docks, 3 boats, it would be one app just listing out all the items.
Yeah, there's
On
this,
the property.
you would be filling out a sketch
Yeah,
to show where your docks would be. You know, distances from the property lines.
We did that already.
Okay,
Take a look and make sure it meets your approval.
sure.
taking a crack at trying to map out what the property looks like,
Mhm.
you know, with the docks on it. Actually, it's
Okay.
better to look at it this way. This is looking from the water,
Okay,
you know, with 100 Sunset here, the wetlands over
Mhm.
here.
Mhm. Sometimes it's a matter of how many boats you can fit too, and navigational ability in and out for everybody.
Yeah,
We've had discussions about that. Well, it's not wide enough for my boat to get around, so you might want to just consider that.
if we get more at some point, we'll have to figure out how to navigate
Yeah,
around, just
that's
the
up-
two on either
up
end.
to you guys.
That'd be
Yeah.
one of your things.
I'm assuming that for now, when we fill out the form, we do the map the first time, and then we're just redoing the app every year. You'd only redo the map, or you do the map.
We do
the
the
map
map.
every
You can
year.
just keep a copy of it if you, I mean,
Okay, as long as it doesn't change, you can just
Right.
resubmit
Right.
it. If you're like adding a doc, you'd have to put that
Correct.
in and.
or
Yeah,
or the
and,
size or length or the sitting space at the
Yeah.
end or, you know, whatever.
If there's
Okay,
any
yeah.
alterations, I believe you need to submit. an
And there's
RDA.
limitations to size, so just be aware of that. I mean,
Is that the 600 square feet?
something like that.
Mhm.
That's for personal, yeah, but
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit different for
Association.
associations.
I think you can have, I don't know, up to 6 or 8 boats.
I'm not even
If
sure.
it, if it fits.
If it fits.
Up to 10 after
Up to
10, it's
10
10 to marina.
It becomes a marina,
Right.
right?
So you
Okay,
wanna
I've done a
be
little reading.
Careful to stay
Yeah.
under that.
You know, that won't be the case,
Okay,
so. And as far as, so we'll go through the association route. Do we need to get this app filled out for this season at this point? Given that we're close to the end,
I
can we
don't-
get this done and then that
yeah,
way? when we
I
get
don't
the
think
next
so. I
year,
think we have a clear path to move
What does
forward
RMC
here.
think, Ron?
Want them stickered?
It's the boss.
She's the boss.
She's the boss. She runs the program
It's
for
just-
us.
It's kind of like at home, you know?
Actually, go ahead and fill out the form for this season. 2 docks with and the 2 boats.
Yeah.
What the registration numbers are on the form, you
It'll be good practice.
send it into Gene.
Just fill it in my name right now, since I won't have the association stuff
Right.
set at that point.
Yeah.
I'd like to get them registered.
Do you have what year is your application?
What year?
Do you have one?
Yes. I started filling it
Okay,
out.
24.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 2 docks.
2
Your
boats.
vessels will be deemed an
Okay,
association,
wasn't sure what.
so it will go there.
Okay,
The registration numbers and the names will go here.
Yeah.
Your contact, so you'll get everything to you. So is this basically it?
it's almost that. I mean, not quite, but it's very close.
This, no.
This needs to go here. Yeah, this was in pencil,
Association,
Okay,
okay?
and then can I bring this to the town hall? Can I literally come
Yeah.
to?
Right up, yeah,
I'm going on vacation.
good for you. Gene.
you can't go.
I am.
She's got a lot of time off here.
You can submit it to the town clerk and they'll ask them to put it in the Conservation Commission mailbox.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or
It
if
ends
you
up
want,
here.
you can visit me in the morning. I'm
Yeah,
here
it
from
ends
9
up
to
here.
12.
9 to 12, okay.
There's also
The room next door.
like rafts and buoys and things like that that
Okay, but right now, I think we're literally just the docks.
Yeah.
we probably don't have that yet, but for future.
Okay,
All right. I think we're good. Oh, yes, sure.
65 Sunset, should we actually apply a secondary as well, just in case, something may happen as a backup,
Secondary what?
A secondary what?
like a secondary,
Like a vice president or?
yeah.
It'll be
Yeah.
nailed to one contact. So if there's a change of contact, I'll give you my email. You let me know, hey, Eric's moved to Florida and now it's gonna be John's.
Yeah,
It
it's
seems
just,
like a quite simple.
it, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, you just changed the contact information with the office and.
Yeah. There's a contact form. There's a contact form on the website.
Hopefully not, we're not scaring you, are we?
It's an emergency. no.
Okay.
No, no, I've been here 20
Yeah.
years and
Okay,
I just want to ski.
all right, very
You'll
good.
have email communication.
Okay.
Regardless,
With my email address?
I will email you, you will have I think my email address is even on there.
Okay,
So-
this will come in physically though. Sure.
Yeah, I think it is
And your
enough on the
stickers
top
will
of the form.
physically be made.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure you mail them.
Mail it one.
Address.
Will do.
Okay,
Good.
very good. Thank you guys for coming in.
Yeah. thank you for
Appreciate
coming down.
that.
Appreciate that.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glad we're come to a solution.
Yes. There's always a solution.
Okay,
Right.
you wanna go into case 1 and 2?
Cases 1 and 2, yes.
Yeah. Case 1 is the most complex one. I've been to the assessor's office in Suffield 3 times on this one. We got an A, B, C, and D court. They're 20-foot wide right of ways. We thought first they were public ways. I don't know if there's a big difference between right of way and public way. There used to be an association years ago. They haven't had a meeting in 2 decades. So they're no longer a 501 corporation if they were one before. Okay. Different scenarios, docks have been on there for years, same as the one we just had. The town does not do any service for these strips of land. They're 200 feet long, 20 feet wide. Okay. Now, I highlighted earlier on the LPP, it says you can't interfere with access. On D court, there's a dock, a boat, a lift, and the PWC. So if another member wanted to launch a canoe or a kayak or go swimming,
Swimming even, yeah.
they would have trouble. Okay. So. I suppose a solution could be that they could reform as a 501 C3 corporation and solve this problem. The B Court one, she's been good apparently in submitting her LPP form manually, but nobody else has. Okay. And I think that might be the solution. Some of you might know Jerry Crane, he's on C Court. And he used to be an LMC member for years, and he's on the board of CRC.
He's still active, you know.
Yeah. So again, we would, one thing is clear here, if we wanna remove docks and boats on this one, I think we need to get concurrence from select board. Because these people will go directly to their select board, and so.
I was gonna ask who governs those courts right now? Kind of nobody, or first come, first served, or? Like you said, say, somebody else wants to put something in, and this guy's got 3 slips going or something.
Yeah,
How do they?
I don't know how they control that,
How they
because
reconcile?
the board doesn't meet anymore. Most of the board members, the last elected board members are deceased or moved away.
So it's a matter of getting there first in the spring, or?
Yeah,
You know, if they could do that, you know, get back together and put together some kind of association. And figure out if they, you know, everybody agreed to keep all those out there, then there wouldn't be a problem. If nobody's losing access to it. If one person says, yeah, I want access to it, then
When somebody new moves in and wants a slip.
because it's been like that for quite a while,
yes.
yeah.
Things do change though.
The A court does not have a dock on it. B court's got a dock and a boat. C court's got a dock and 2 boats. And B court I already described. Okay. Yeah, you got a sample deed here that just basically says they got a right of way to the passage, and then we got a. For A court, we got a drawing that the assessor gave. So it's 20 feet wide and 200 feet long, 150 feet long, excuse me.
Did you say A Court does not have a dock on it right now?
Nothing on A court. And neighbors take care of the property. A court's nicely mowed. Probably by the next door neighbor. D court is the worst. It's very,
Is that hilly? Is that like
yes,
a dirt hill? Like a,
yeah, C and D are steep. So we want to offer that as a solution for that, one, for case 1.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. absolutely.
So let's go to case 2, which is different. Case 2 involves not a non-waterfront resident for 241 Holiday. And it's not waterfront. But it abuts a strip of land that abuts the lake.
Mhm.
And if you go to the sketch. it could be on the page. Page 14. You can see 241 is in black marker. And Chestnut Stream or whatever it is by Chestnut Circle. He probably was one time on the property of that stream. LMC believes, because they've been around here for years, that stream over the years has shrunk.
Yeah.
Right,
And created this new land.
Yeah.
right.
Okay, that strip of land. All the way out to Congamon Lake.
Used to be a canal.
It used to be a canal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
when we I first got on with you, I think we took a ride out there and then I said, that used to be navigable.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Well, the homeowners on that canal used to have docks and boats.
Yep,
Yeah,
they did.
Okay. All right, so 241, I don't know what his deed says. He'd have to, he'd have to tell us what he wants to do. But I highlighted who he is. And that's on page 15. You can see it, I've got pointed where it's got 1 dock, 2 boats and 2 PWCs. And I believe 2 lifts as well. Okay. Then the other thing, and the next one is the picture, it's actually, there's 2 pictures to show it all. I couldn't get it on one picture. Shows the 2 lifts and the PWCs in the boat. And then the next one shows 2 boats in the dock. Okay. Now, if you notice on picture number 2, the dock is crossing the stream. Okay, so it is blocking access from Chestnut. Okay. So what LMC is recommending for this one, if you go to the last page. Page. It would be number 2, docks and boats on untaxed land. That's what the assessor said, this new created land is untaxed. Okay. And so she was actually surprised that it existed. And if his deed states that access is allowed, there is no allowance for dock or boat. And C, if deed does not mention any access, then no boat or dock to be allowed. So this one of the 3, I don't know if there's a solution.
Now, wouldn't that apply for everybody, not just 241 Holiday?
but they're the only ones that have a dock there.
Well, right now they do. But
Right.
if we establish something and say it was written in their deed and it's contradictory to what we find,
Do we have a deed for this one?
We don't.
Yeah.
We contact him, he lives in Northampton, his address is on here. And we send him a note and say, please supply the deed.
we could just apply it to this one instance or, you know, take it as it comes and.
Yeah,
It goes online, the feeds.
in Connecticut, you cannot.
Okay.
Well, you can if you have a license.
Alright. Okay.
In Massachusetts, they're free and
You
just
can
go in
just look them up
and
online.
look them up.
Yeah.
I don't have that license. And
Yeah.
I don't know if the assessor in Suffield would give me another copy of the deed or not.
Well, maybe give it a week.
So why don't we contact them, ask for a copy of the deed? And then come
It's a safe
back.
way to
us
do it,
and-
yeah. So it's,
Okay.
Sounds good, Norm.
Do you need a motion for that or just do it?
Oh, we can just do it. We'll work that out.
Okay.
All righty. Moving on to some old business. Norm, you're back on with photos, shoot of docks and boats.
Yes, can you share the screen or?
I believe it is,
Okay.
enabled.
No, I can find it. I got a little update here on, I went back, we had our LMC meeting. And I went over the discrepancies. And they had to go back out and recount in one instance, because I said, it doesn't make sense. And they recounted and they matched my number.
yeah.
Okay.
And then I had to go back out because I had the wrong definition of what a swim float was. So
What is the definition of a swim float?
okay, I thought it was, you know, you have a string of
Oh,
buoys.
Mhm.
Okay.
oh,
I thought each one of those was a float.
Oh,
No, but if you anchor it, you got a tall thing at each end. And that's the swim float.
wait, isn't the swim float
Well,
one
that's
of the
a
things
buoy.
that
It's
you
a
jump
buoy.
off of?
It's a buoy.
Those are the anchor
Right,
buoys.
It's a buoy.
Like we have
Yeah.
two of them, one on each end of the road.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
Okay, and
buoy.
they're anchored and they stay there all winter.
yeah.
And we just connect to them in the spring. Well, we
Well,
put the ropes out.
I counted the wrong thing.
Oh,
So,
And then there's
Okay.
a swim raft, which is.
right.
That's what I was thinking of as
Yeah.
a float.
Yeah. 'cause
That's,
it floats.
that's my idea was.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put this out of the way here. Okay, so now the inventory from LMC and mine is only eight difference.
wow,
Plus, 430.
it's a good.
So I'm happy with that,
Yeah,
okay? And we don't need to go through the South Pond, Middle Pond, because it pretty much matches. But here are the key results. Total number of vessels and structures needed to be stickered, 437. Only 189 of them were stickered. Percent accuracy, 43.2%. And here's an interesting one. Number of homes that required stickers, 124. Number of homes that had at least one sticker, 63. 51%. That means 49% of the homeowners snubbed the program. They're giving us the finger. Is my view.
This is on Connecticut side only, right?
This is Connecticut side only.
In Connecticut, there's.
So this is why we did the photo shoot.
Yeah,
Just in
Okay.
Connecticut?
Wow.
437?
yeah.
There's 437 votes just in Connecticut.
Vessels
Boats,
and
docks.
structures.
Oh,
Structure.
On everything,
okay,
everything that needs a
except the
sticker.
swim buoy.
So, this is why we did it, and Jean is sending out letters, she's got a few back, but not too many. We may have to take other means, but this is why we did this process. Okay, any questions?
Where do we go next from here?
well, select board. The, Norm, I think are gonna be addressing that with the,
Yeah, we'll use this data when we go to finally
Close to-
close the deal with
Okay.
the Suffield for the new LPP deal.
Right,
All
right.
right. And
Good.
Do we know when we're supposed to be getting a check from them? From Suffield?
we haven't got it yet, huh?
it's supposed to be before July, isn't it?
Well, I think it's July 1st it's due.
Yeah,
And they were in August last year. I know that. Hasn't come in yet? Okay,
No, Jean
All right.
told me that it hasn't come in yet.
all righty. So that's my, I
Mhm.
think all my presentations for tonight.
all right, and thank you, Norm, again, a lot of work. Okay, temporary closing of North Pond Conservation Area parking lot, discussion approved land management plan.
I did try to write up something really quick. It's in your packet of land management. I'm not sure if you want to read through it now or read through it later, but this.
We can read, I think I'll make a motion to read through this before next meeting and then discuss at that meeting.
I think some of the things we talked about.
These are exactly the things that we
Yeah.
talked about.
I'll second that motion.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Dennis, I.
Andy, I.
Norma,
Chris, I,
Jerry,
but I think. Like
We digest.
we're
these
saying,
are all good. We
Yeah,
talked
it's-
about
And
these.
yeah, I'm not sure about the format. I just something that I quickly wrote up
It's good,
with
Yeah.
last week.
It's good.
that will give us more,
because it writes down
Ideas for
everything
comments.
everybody said in case we forgot something.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm gonna bring this to the task force. Next week, I think, is our first meeting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would
we'll have
say-
something to give them and say, hey, this is what we're
Yes,
planning on
I would
doing.
say these are our thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the commission. That has what we plan on doing. We have that.
And then they're gonna come up with some sort of determination or plan, or is that the goal? The task force?
Yeah, the goal is to open up the property, the parking lot. So we're hopefully gonna come up with a plan to get to that goal. Fire, police, DPW, myself, a citizen, I think Diane Gale.
Mhm.
Yep, Diane Gale,
Yeah.
and then Nicole Parker, I believe also.
Okay,
And we're gonna put our heads together and And hopefully get the place
And
open
let
up again.
the folks from DEP know what's going on too. They wanted feedback.
Yeah, yeah, I actually just sent Jen an email today asking her. Well, where do I
I mean, Fish
officially
and
write?
Wildlife.
Yeah, sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
Fish and Wildlife, cause I don't really know who to address it to or the address. I asked her for that because I let her know that we do wanna close down one of the trails. And we wanna put new signs up on the property, so I wanted to at least run that by her. And everything else, I don't really think we need permission, to do, because it's just like a regular land,
Team.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think,
land management.
can read through it, but I think signage is okay, and if we're saying we're doing maintenance on the trail.
Yeah,
Close it to stabilize it.
right, I
So, I
think
mean, I
that's,
don't
I
know.
think that's,
Yeah.
absolutely, it'll be
So I
fine,
don't
but
think it'll be an issue.
I think we just need to let them know what's going on,
Yeah, I'm sure
um,
they would love to hear.
yeah.
Yeah.
They love emails from me.
Yeah.
Um,
Are they both fishing and wildlife or is one of them DEP? This, or,
Elizabeth and
Liz
Jen,
and Jen.
yep, they're both Mass Fisheries and
they're
Wildlife.
both,
Yep,
Mhm.
Yeah, DEP was not
they're
part
not
of
part of
this.
this, okay,
Not-
gotcha.
And in case you guys have not heard, the trees have come down.
Mhm. I went over and looked.
Read all about
They
it.
did a nice job.
Saw the pictures.
They came down a few days after our meeting. We had got the approval, and I think the next day, they were taken down.
Yeah, and I went over there, there are no new rope swings yet, so that's good as well.
Yeah.
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 And I did check today to see how much like snow fencing and posts and that little post mechanism to put the post into, I don't know, weight,
Yep.
is going to cost, and I'm guesstimating like put a post every 8 feet. Is that a good? I've never put up a snow fence before.
That should be plenty.
Yeah,
I mean, most fences are 8 foot
yeah,
sections, so.
and even in the, there won't
Yeah.
really be a
And
lot
it's
of
not,
places. where
they're
there's
not
more
gonna,
than 8
not
feet.
that heavy, so it's not gonna need a lot of support.
We're talking the
Right.
top of the hill where all the glass is
Yeah.
and the erosion.
Top of the,
Yeah.
top of the hill, the other way to get to the scenic trail, and then along the shoreline,
Mhm.
set back a bit, because we don't wanna impede on public access along the shoreline, so,
Okay.
yeah, so that quote was like $130, I think, for supplies, maybe a little more, I'm just guesstimating. But,
It's good. Hopefully that's a deterrent.
yeah, hopefully it doesn't get.
We saw
knocked down.
motorcycle tracks, remember?
Well,
Yeah,
There are
they're,
quads out there, and I
yeah.
think the sheriff's department actually takes quads out there as well, so.
it
You
is, yeah,
can do that though, right? You can operate motor vehicle, well, not on.
Well,
not
they
on that
can.
area, but.
They can,
they're authorized.
yeah, they're,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because, yep, we're monitoring the area.
Okay.
We can't,
No.
we're not authorized.
So everything's
Right,
been
Norm?
quiet out there recently.
Yeah, Norm got in trouble. but
Norm
we won't
got in
some-
trouble.
talk about
We
that.
got a police report, and basically the only thing that happened was Norm got in trouble.
Oh, no.
He almost got towed.
Yeah, I I'll do my normal litter pickup.
That'll teach you.
I park off the road, but, and put a note in my dashboard that I was from the Conservation Commission and doing litter pickup.
Didn't see the note.
And, 2 cops were there when I came out, flashing lights. Oh, gee. And one of the cops was the guy that I would drove the boat, the police boat.
Mm,
So he knew me.
Yeah.
The other guy says, if Mark wasn't here, I probably, your truck would have probably picked up.
Oh.
So they said, get to the chief and get something a little more official.
Yeah, yeah, you can let Chief Banish know ahead of time.
Hmm.
That'd be helpful.
Okay. All right, last week, or last meeting, we addressed the dead tree in North Pond Conservation Property.
Yep.
We did the update on 13 Berkshire land donation, yes.
Yeah, nothing has changed.
Lucas
We
was
haven't
here.
found out if the
last
auditors
meeting.
have approved that money yet.
No one's updated me on anything.
Okay, proposed
Um,
amendments to the LPP.
I think Lucas is on board.
Oh, does he have anything that he'd like to say since we just said his name? Are there any updates on the trail signs, Lucas?
I do, yes. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay, perfect. So earlier I emailed Sabrina with the finished designs for the signs. Pretty much the same as what I showed you at the previous meeting, but I figured one last look would be good before we go any further with production. So did you receive those, Sabrina? Just so I can
Yes,
send them
I
again.
did. No,
Okay.
I got them. I would like to make some changes. So don't print them yet.
Sure.
Yeah, I briefly went through them, but I can email you, and let you know the changes, or
Alrighty.
or send me the contact, because I know you're going off to college. Send me the contact of who you've been working with.
I will connect you. Yeah. I've been
Awesome.
mainly working with Martin, so I can send you his email and
great.
I can probably talk to him tomorrow too, just to let him know that you'll be in contact soon.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. And if you want him to like maybe come to the next meeting as well, I can probably have him do that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Nice article in Southwoods.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Lucas who?
Karen,
Karen,
Lucas, Karen.
Did you say who he was?
Lucas, can you please say your name and address?
Oh, yeah. Lucas Karen, 148 Hillside Road.
thank you, Lucas.
I knew that.
Yeah,
You're
well, I mean,
welcome.
for the record, everybody else wants to know who it is as well. All right. All right, thank you very much, Lucas.
Good luck at school.
Yes.
Of
You won't
course.
need luck.
Thank you
know.
for everything the past few months.
Just do you. That's what you do. Okay, we're gonna move on. Proposed amendments to local LPP, request by the select board and chief of police, harbor master, Diane Gale, to move this forward. I think we talked about that as well. Do we have any updates on that? I don't think so.
Nothing from me.
Yeah, I don't think so. And report from Suffield presentation on LPP following follow-on contract.
No update.
No updates.
Jason.
Okay.
Report from Suffield Concom meetings, Norm, anything?
Nothing.
Okay. Noble Steve subdivision extension of order conditions and project update. I don't think we have anything on that, right?
I'm
And
sorry, I was writing something down. What did you
Noble
say?
Steed subdivision? Request for extension of
No
order
update.
conditions, okay. And then we talked about possible wetland violation last time. 31
Yeah, I
Sandwich
haven't
Road.
had a chance to go out there and look.
Okay,
No update.
all right. Anybody have any other matters they'd like to discuss? That I didn't know anything about, any secrets? Concern? Questions, motions?
Move to adjourn.
Oh, Gene,
You going on vacation?
yay, where are you gonna go?
Just day trips.
Okay, fun. Sometimes that's the best. We need to hunt you down.
No, that's okay.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn by Jerry. I'll second that.
What time?
8:20.
8:20.
Okay. Just a second. Okay.
All in favor?
Pass aye.
Maybe,
Norma.
Chris, I.
Jerry,
Very good.